high. Thank you so much.
I'm Paul Hagan. I'm on your board of directors, and I'm the platform assistant today. And we're delighted to have Karen Gray and WIlentz supporting us today with their music and message. Now for a centering prayer, I've chosen a poem by one of my favorite poets, Mary Oliver. It's entitled Mornings at Blackwater. For years, every morning I drank from Blackwater Pond. It was flavored with oak leaves and also, no doubt, the feet of ducks. And always it assuaged me from the dry bowl of the very far past. What I want to say is that the past is past, and the present, the now, is what your life is. And you are capable of choosing what that will be, darling citizen. So come to the pond, or the river of your imagination, or the harbor of your longing, and put your lips to the world and live your life.
done with don't care who. But walking is my favorite thing for cats and chicks to do. Let me take you walking till the party moment comes. Open up your eardrums. We're gonna do some walking, 'cause we're gonna talk a while, walk a while. Let me take you walking. We can dig some scenery anywhere we chance to pass in a common beanery or a joint that's high class. 'Cause we're gonna walk a while, talk a while. Let me take you walking. Let me take you walking till the party moment comes. We can do some talking, open up your eardrums. 'Cause we're gonna talk a while, walk a while. Let me take you walking. We can dig some scenery anywhere we chance to pass in a common beanery or a joint that's high class. 'Cause we're gonna walk a while, talk a while. Let me take you walking. I don't care what you've ever done with don't care who. But walking is my favorite thing for cats and chicks to do. Let's take a walk. Thanks so much.
Love it, love it. Thank you so much, Wayne. Hi, everybody. It's such a pleasure to be here with you today. And today's theme, like the daily word, is now. Now. And I have 4 lessons to share. The first lesson is called To Do No Thing. And it takes me back 11 days ago. You probably remember where you were on Inauguration Day. That morning, I was at home sitting at my desk. I had some work to get done. But then my sister Elisa texted me, "It's happening now." So I got up from my desk, turned on the TV, sat down on the couch. I managed to hear most of Vice President Kamala Harris's oath of office, and then President Joe Biden's oath of office. I shed a few tears of relief and watched a little more, but then I went back to my desk because I had a lot to do. But there was also a lot more to watch, so I left the TV on. And I was here at my desk, and I had my laptop right here in front of me. And then my second monitor was on next to that. And I could look in between the 2 monitors and see the television that was still on the far side of the room. And then next to me was my phone so that I could watch the texts being exchanged with my 2 sisters. So I had 4 screens going on so that I wouldn't miss anything. But I bet I missed something, don't you think? So half an hour later, I signed in for our 1 o'clock Wednesday meditation. And that day it was being led by Kay Wood. Thank goodness. After a few minutes of connecting on that call, which we always do, but it was inauguration day, so we had an extra lot to connect about. But then Kay Wood's rich, deep voice invited us all into a moment of spiritual reflection and awareness, and then into silence. And I was really struck by the silence on this occasion. A few minutes earlier, I couldn't settle down enough to do one thing. And now I was being asked to do no thing. Just be there. So we sat in the silence, and I participated, and thoughts would come to my mind, and then I would just notice them and return to just focusing on my breath. Or honestly, it was even more foundational than that, just focusing on being, on the present moment. And to tell you the truth, I kind of felt like I was melting in a good way. I just felt like I was melting. And there was something I found very interesting that day. I was wearing a mask that day because I had contractors doing some work in my apartment. And that was why I wasn't leading the meditation that day. I normally lead the Wednesday meditation, but I knew there would be people and activity going on around me. So Kay Wood lovingly agreed to step in for me. And so I was at my desk with my extra monitor turned off. So all I was looking at was my Unity friends on the screen in front of me. And I had the mask on, and I became aware that the mask was providing a barrier for me, and not just a barrier against the virus, but a barrier against the outside world. That's how I suddenly experienced it, kind of like the way my eyelids were closed, and so they were closing me off from the outside world. In that moment, I could feel that the mask was helping me to feel like I was really inside, and I could focus on just being and let the outside world stay outside. And I don't know if it would be experienced like this by any of you or by me ever again, but in that moment, I felt really present and protected inside a cocoon. And it was just what I needed. To be present. This is the lesson. To be present presents us with the gift of now, the eternal present moment. And I would like for all of us to share the now experience. As a part of my message today, we're actually going to do a few brief meditations during this service. So let's go into the first one right now, just a moment of stillness, a minute or two. So I will ask that you please find comfort, however it works best for you. Probably close your eyes, or at least relax your focus, your gaze. Maybe focus on your breath, your beautiful life-giving breath. And we'll just draw from the affirmation. Now is the perfect time, and this is the perfect place for me to live fully as the Christ I am. I'll say it once more. Now is the perfect time, and this is the perfect place for me to live fully as the Christ I am. Let's stay with that for a moment of silence. And we will close this moment of silence with the acknowledgement, now is the time. And please feel free to say that to yourself aloud if you wish. Now is the time. Now is the time. And that is done. The second lesson I'd like to share today is how to walk. My sister, Alisa, gave me this book. Can you see it? Is it backward for you? I'm not sure. It's called How to Walk, and it's a collection of the teachings of Thich Nhat Hanh. It's a tiny little book packed with wisdom, mighty wisdom, and the line, as I read through these pages, the line that jumped out at me the most was, arrive at every step. And that's the title of my talk today. Thich Nhat Hanh has a certain expertise about how to walk. My physical therapist, Victoria, has a different kind of expertise about how to walk, and I've been learning from both of them lately. The gift of this book was perfectly timely for me as I've been learning and practicing walking again after I broke my ankle in early October. So, of course, normally we walk, it's a mode of transportation, and we're trying to get from here to there. But where, the great teacher asks, are we in between? Thich Nhat Hanh says, with every step, we can feel the miracle. We can arrive at the present moment with every step. Now, who has time for that? But as luck would have it, that is how I started walking about 6 weeks ago when I was finally allowed to put weight on my foot again. I would feel the miracle of the earth under my foot. And Victoria, my physical therapist, is smart and tough. She listens to me really, really well, but she also pushes me. And it's more like being with a personal trainer these days than at the beginning when it still felt like a medical appointment. And I really enjoy it. And once I ditched the therapeutic boot and the final crutch and could actually go out on the trail behind my apartment, she told me to seek out uneven terrain. So we had already spent several weeks on just range of motion and balance, but now she said I needed not just to walk on the even path, the paved surface of the trail, but to go to the uneven surface, like the field, or to find a path that was stony or that had tree roots all over it. That way, my foot would learn to grip and adjust the way our feet normally do, just magically, and without our even being aware of it. Our feet provide such an incredible service to us. Today's message here is this: to only focus on our destination is to really miss out. It's like going to a concert to find out how it ends. We ought to treat walking with the same appreciation. It's possible to be present for every step along the journey. And right now, I have a bit of an advantage in putting this teaching into practice because I still walk slowly and deliberately. And I'm so grateful for this serendipitous lesson in arriving at every step. So my walking is coming along great, thanks to Victoria, to my sister giving me this book. And to feel the miracle of every step doesn't require a literal physical step, of course. It is to feel the miracle of presence in every moment, to experience now. Now. Let's do another short and sweet meditation. I don't think I should have to add that this doesn't apply to you if you're listening to this while driving. But for everybody else, please make yourself comfortable in the ways that you know best. Feel the assurance that you are doing what is best for you in this moment. And offering the same affirmation as before, now is the perfect time. And this is the perfect place for me to live fully as the Christ I am. I'll say it once more. Now is the perfect time, and this is the perfect place for me to live fully as the Christ I am. We close this moment of stillness with the acknowledgement, now is the time. And now is the time for lesson 3, the heart for healing. When Elisa gave me this book, she actually gave me 4 little books. She's generous like that. And they were 4 little treasure chests of spiritual teachings. And one of them was Pocket Pema Chodron. And each page has a little truth gem. And I haven't read through all of it yet, but I found one for you. Teaching on the noble heart, Pema Chodron introduces us to the bodhicitta. The bodhicitta, the awakened heart. It shows up in difficult times. And as she says, when inspiration is hidden, when we feel ready to give up, this is the time when healing can be found in the tenderness of pain itself. Can you believe it? What she's saying? That when we most want to flee the now, because it's not working for us, when we want to move past the pain, when we want to wish away the hard time, our very presence deep in the now is where we find healing and comfort. Could it be that in the midst of loneliness, we'll find what we're meant to find, and in the midst of heartache, we'll be comforted? And in the midst of misunderstanding, we'll come to clarity and peace, but only by being there, not if we avoid the midst of it all. And somehow, this reminded me of a really good sketch from the very early years of Saturday Night Live. And Bill Murray was playing Hercules. And I don't remember a lot of the details, but Lorraine Newman was clearly an admirer of Hercules. And Hercules is being challenged by some authority figure to lift a huge boulder. And he says, that boulder is too large. I could lift a smaller one. And I don't know if this is funny in the retelling, but it is hilarious in the skit because Lorraine Newman is shouting from the sidelines, lift with the legs, Hercules, lift with the legs. But the point remains, he has to lift the boulder that he's given. Because it's ridiculous, right? He's not going to be offered a smaller boulder. And like, can you imagine any of us last year at this time saying, a pandemic? Okay, if we have to. But no, not one that lasts for well over a year. We can lift a smaller one. But this is the pandemic that we are given. And we are not here just to endure, but also to feel and to heal. We are not meant to be here focusing on there. We're not meant to be cursing this moment or wishing away time, longing for what we used to know back then or what will come later. We are here. When Dorothy was 3, her preschool classmates used to remind one another, like when the teacher was passing out different colored cupcakes, you get what you get and you don't get upset. And that's a really good life lesson. Or as Byron Katie teaches us, love what is. Love what is. Because to do otherwise is to argue with reality. And if we argue with reality, we will lose. We are meant to love the now moment as it is, not just accept it and endure it, but love it. And Pema Chodron goes farther, not just to love it, but to find purpose in it, to find what we seek, what we need. And the genuine heart is there. As she says, in the midst of loneliness, in the midst of fear, is the heartbeat of all things. And we want the heartbeat of all things. This is life. This is where the heart resides. It is the here and now. And this whole weird balancing thing about how hard things become, and yet in the now we find our healing. I found an image that I think illustrates that, and I sent it to Jan, and she's going to share her screen so that we can all enjoy the wisdom in this image. So there you go. All right, thank you, Jan, for the visual aids. Let's join together in a third moment of silence, again, just for a minute or two. And as you get comfortable and accept the now, the messages are simple. Now, all is still. Now, I am still. It is okay to be still. It's okay to not be busy. It's okay to hurt if I do. The now moment is here for me. There is healing in this now moment. There is peace in this now moment. I find perfection in this now moment. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is. And now join me for the fourth lesson, the fourth and final lesson for this morning. And this one is called vertical or horizontal living. When we seek to get from here to there, we are living life on a horizontal plane. We are at the center, or at least at our current focal point, and everything else in life exists over there. So we can get there, or there, or there. All these options come together to form the horizontal plane. It's a collection of points, a collection of destinations. We can cover a lot of ground, and we can do so by being busy and productive and focused, always on something in the distance or in the future. This is horizontal living, and it serves a purpose. To experience life in a vertical manner is to always be in the now. Vertical living is the way of elevated consciousness. Vertical living is the way of deeper grounding. It is completely and always now. Clearly, this is about awareness, not about location or destination. Let's be here, in the now, staying present, returning to the center. Keep exercising that muscle so that we're not just fluttering through life like a dry leaf. Vertical living is a life of utmost awareness. Awareness is what turns whatever is outside your window into a scenic view. Awareness is what turns a circumstance into a blessing. Awareness is what takes us out of oblivion to where we have the potential for love and gratitude and awe. Remember, vertical living is the way of elevated consciousness. Vertical living is the way of deeper grounding. And do you remember this? Reverend Lafayette Seymour used to sometimes teach us that our higher self actually resides, I think he said 10 to 20 or 10 to 30 feet above us, I believe is what he said. And I found that a helpful notion. I do not know if I understood it the way he meant it, but I can work with it. And even as we go about our busy and productive lives, even as we regularly go there and there and there, we can always return to the center. And the center is now. So let's come together for our final stillness time together this morning, our final brief meditation. And I invite you to relax and find yourself comfortable in the chair, on the sofa or the bed, wherever you find yourself. Know that you are supported by the floor beneath you. Under that, you are supported by the stable foundation of the building. Under that, you are safely held by Mother Earth. Deep within the earth, we find the beating heart of God. You are absolutely secure in this grounding. And for elevated consciousness, find that you are uplifted through your crown, held up in and by the sky. Our higher self reaches out to us. We are alert. We are relaxed. We accept the elevation offered to us. One with God and all that is. Here and now. The one power and the one presence. And all is well. And so it is. Amen. Thank you, loved ones, for being with me now.
I'm going to do a song that was written going back to Brazil, as you know I will. I can't help myself, right? But when Karen told me about what her meditations were going to be about today and what her speech was going to be about, and we talked about walking in the path, and we talked about elevation, and I thought of this song, and I'm not going to translate the whole song for you, but it's a beautiful song. Antonio Carlos Jobim, of course, is famous for what song? Girl from Ipanema. And he wrote that with a gentleman named Vinicius de Moraes. What you probably don't know is years before that song was written, they got together in the mid-50s and wrote a play called Orfeu do Conceição. And that was the basis for the movie Black Orpheus, which I'm sure most of you know. And one of the opening song of this play is this guy walking along this stony path in the middle of nowhere in the hills of Brazil. And it's called Camino de Pedra, which means stony path or stony road. And the last lines of it translate as, I don't know what I have. I only know that in my chest there's a stony path, right? And then he says, today I don't know where this road is going to take me, but I know the road is going to elevate me, which is an interesting concept. In other words, not where you're going, but the path itself. That's important. So I thought that related somewhat to what Karen was saying today. And it's a beautiful song, and the style of it is more from the northeast of Brazil. So you'll hear that influence is very modal. It's got kind of this one key thing that goes on through the whole end part of it. It's beautiful, almost a suite written by Jobim. And so this is Caminho de Pedra. I'm sorry that intro was so long, but I felt I had to explain it. Such a gorgeous song, though. Velho caminho por onde passou, caro de boi, boiadeira gritando. Velho caminho por onde passou, o meu carinho chamando por mim. Oh, caminho perdido, nascerá caminho de pedra, onde não vai ninguém. Só sei que hoje tenho em mim caminho de pedra no peito também. Oh, hoje sozinho nem sei pra onde vou, e o caminho que vai me levando. La la ya la ya la ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Thank you.
I've chosen as a closing prayer an excerpt from Amalia Frank, who was the founder of our congregation, Amalia Frank's Good Words. The good word is am. Man is the vehicle that God moves in and is active as. Be grateful just to be alive. Be thankful for the mind that is one with God. Know that all you need is already within you. Believe that God speaks in ideas and is constantly pouring them into our consciousness for us to use and profit by. Forget any thought that you are limited and help yourself to know that you can really do whatever you honestly and earnestly want to do. The word am means alive and one with God. The name of God, according to the Bible, is I am. Use it positively and use it confidently.